What is energy anyway? Normally, when a body is accelerated by a force, it will move and speed will occur. Then usually a kinetic energy is created. This so-called kinetic energy is actually nothing more than just a property of the movement. It only serves as a method to compare and study various natural events such as force, work, motion, heat, etc. There is no concrete or tangible energy. That the term energy is an imaginary thing that does not and cannot exist factually. In fact, energy is not an objective reality, but only a physical quantity. Energy was introduced into physics as a measurement method, which is of course correct and useful. For example, potential energy is in fact a force tension. It can, of course, be described in terms of energy so that it can be compared to the speed arising from this force tension. So this energy is just a description of the ability of the force. When the force tension dissipates, the potential energy is gone as well. It's just a concept, a measure that doesn't actually exist. There is no existing energy in nature. Also, any particular kind of energy used out of desperation to satisfy a fantastic theory otherwise unexplainable does not exist anywhere or in any form. The so-called law of conservation of energy, a fundamental rule in modern physics that states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but only transformed from one form to another, is not true. The truth, however, is exactly the opposite. The energy can only be generated through the work of the force, it will eventually be lost again, irrevocably. The sovereignty system that we have presented obviously violates the law of conservation of energy. But we have seen that interaction in a sovereignty system is an eternal mutual driving of two bodies involved. In doing so, more energy is generated than is required to sustain this process. As a result, a double star system, for example, will not only be able to run forever, but will also constantly emit light and heat. The interaction is actually a back and forth conversion between force and motion and can also be viewed as a conversion of energy. This is exactly what has enabled us to determine that these back and forth conversions do not happen one-to-one. The reason is that the force of one body can infinitely accelerate another body and generate infinite energy while the speed of the accelerated body is limited. But this limited speed creates a force with which that can in turn accelerate infinitely. On the other hand, energy can be converted from one form to another. As a result, part of the energy is usually always lost. The entire universe actually consists of innumerable such sovereignty systems. Such a system, which runs forever without additional energy, can never be objectively explained under the principle of energy conservation. The law of conservation of energy is actually just a wish and an ideal state for physicists. It's fundamentally wrong. As an ideal state, it is nonetheless useful, recognizing that there is inertia that can alter the outcome. But as a basis for physical theories, it's just simple wrong. As a result, we unfortunately have to refute the law of conservation of energy, which is, after all, just one of earthly man's great inventions. So, in principle, energy does not conserve. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.